food's great.
The cooks are on the ball, and they really know how to take care of the people here.
They get us a lot of fresh items, and even when they don't have fresh items, they can do amazing things with the food.
Well, as one of the cooks, I got to say we do work hard to make the food as delicious as we can. We do have some limitations on what we can provide. All of our food is frozen. Our vegetables are generally frozen, though we do have some freshies periodically. Our milk is powdered. Our soy milk is powdered. But I would say that you're going to be well fed.
The food is fantastic. Our chef rocks. I met Robert last year, and I made him promise before I left last year. I said, if I manage this camp this year, you have to come work for me. So when I got hired in March to be the manager of Byrd Camp, Robert was the first phone call I made. And I said, Robert, remember that promise? And he had to think for a second. He did remember making that promise to me, so I made him come back.
For the most part, we just have fun with it and try to cook. I basically cook what I like. I don't really care what everybody else likes. And so the food can be spicy, it can be this and that, and everybody seems to like it and adjust to it or complain enough that I change what I do.
Well, I mean, we have an expression, you know, make friends in the galley, otherwise you can go hungry. But I mean, other than that, we're definitely going to take care of you out here.
And most importantly to me is they have really good coffee. Just the regular standard drip coffee is actually roasted in New Zealand and ground right here at Byrd and brewed up through a drip coffee. And I'm a coffee snob, and I'm actually quite impressed with the quality of the coffee here.
So the chocolate here expired like 6 years ago. So if you like chocolate, bring your own, because M&Ms are waxy after 5 years.
Interestingly enough, I just ate a Cliff Bar here that was made at the same time that the first Cliff Bar that I ever ate in 2004 was made. I thought about writing a letter to the guy who makes Cliff Bars. It seemed interesting to me, but maybe not to others. But I'm a big fan of Cliff Bars, so it was a very meaningful moment.
I think when you come to Byrd Camp or any of the field camps, a thing to expect is that you can jump in at any time you can find available to be able to help out with any of the chores.
And you do things like washing dishes, shoveling snow to make water.
All of our fresh water here comes from snow melting.
So we fill these big buckets up several times per day.
So there's a good amount of shoveling snow into the snow melter, and we produce about 200. We need to maintain a supply of about 250 gallons. So a 50-gallon trash can full of snow will only produce about 5 gallons of water.
It's a lot of buckets of snow to shovel.
Some people actually enjoy it. I don't enjoy it that much after all these years, but you still have to do it, and it's what makes life comfortable, so you do it.
You drop it into the snow melter hopper, and from there it's melted and then filtered, and there we get our drinking water and water supply for cooking and essentials, washing your hands, so on and so forth.
Where I come from, the ranching and the farming community, if there's a job to be done, it doesn't matter what it is, it needs to get done. And if a neighbor needs help, whatever that job might be, you pitch in and do it.
Byrd's a camp that operates with the help of everybody.
You find pretty quickly if one person isn't pitching in or is overutilizing resources that they become a pariah, put a scarlet letter on them.
We all work together, we're all in it together, because without one another, we wouldn't have power, we wouldn't have food, we wouldn't be as comfortable with all your amenities that you could possibly ask for out here at 80 degrees south.
You might think that we're in the middle of nowhere and there's not a whole lot to do when you have a day off, but in actuality, it's a really amazing place both for socializing and for recreation.
There's a lot of games and things. People tend to hang out and play cards a lot, just socialize, you know.
Some lunatics want to find out let's even go out running. I've been reduced to that.
There's a great little skiway that's been dragged out around here for cross-country skiers.
Well, it's a flat plain of snow all around you. It's good. We've been playing a little bit of Frisbee. That's fun. Sometimes the wind blows and all, so you have to stay indoors. We play a lot of games. We listen to music.
We do all kinds of things. Today we made Christmas ornaments for the tree. I've been decorating for Christmas lately. I've been trying to keep a journal, doing a lot of writing. Catching up on some reading.
Thinking we should do a parody of DMX's Stop, Drop, Shut 'em Down, Open Up Shop on the snowmobiles. Pretty rad.
So obviously, you know, we're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, but there's a lot to keep us occupied.
and there's a lot of fun activities, lots of fun people to talk to. But after a while, people do start to lose it a little bit.
What we believe is that if we add a little bit of mass to the tail of the aircraft and equalize the horizontal stabilizers, the kite will fly. We are in a search of truth. We are seekers of truth, and flight from an estimated kite is a fundamental principle that exists in all of nature, even in this cold, dead place. What do you think of that failure?
Unfortunately for them, bamboo is not as strong as they thought.
No. Communication off ice is always a challenge, all around the continent. And over the years, it's gotten better and better. And here at Byrd Camp, we are incredibly fortunate to have the tools available to us to communicate with the rest of the world.
You're looking at somebody who used to go into the Arctic with absolutely no communication, no radio, no phone, no internet, nothing. And we would get dropped out on a fly camp, sometimes hundreds and hundreds of miles from community. So to me, this is very modern.
Yeah, there is no internet.
I mean, if you're a Facebook addict, then you're gonna have a hard time. You can't use your eye touch here and be like all face crack and whatnot, so.
And you can send out text emails, which is nice, instead of having to wait for the phone to open up or a letter to get sent out, however long that may take.
This year our bandwidth was doubled. We can now send a 50 kilobyte email. Woohoo!
We have satellite telephones that anyone in camp can use at any time, and they can call anywhere on the planet and talk as long as they like. So people have been able to keep in close touch with friends and family using those phones.
Here in West Antarctica, we don't really have access to raindrops on roses or whiskers on kittens, but everyone has a list of their favorite things that they always pack in their suitcases before they head down south to Antarctica.
It's really hard to plan for coming to a field camp because you have no idea what it's going to be like.
Plenty of socks.
Lots of socks and underwear, so you don't have to do laundry.
Definitely bring plenty of underwear.
Fresh, clean socks and underwear.
Good warm underwear and good socks.
Lots of socks and lots of underwear.
A lot of extra socks.
And you can never have too many socks.
Tons of socks.
I'm fond of my merino wool underwear.
Merino wool, long underwear.
Lots of thermal shirts, especially if you can't afford the nice merino wool ones that don't stink. They get pretty funky pretty quickly, so.
One thing I did bring this year that was nice is a Kindle. So that way I can bring a whole bunch of books with me without carrying the weight.
I'm still big into the books. There was sort of some debate beforehand about the Kindle versus book situation, and you know, just for down here, I'm not talking about the world in general, and I didn't say anything when the Kindle broke.
A Snuggie.
Pocket knives and multi-tools are an essential item around camp.
Fingernail clippers.
Something to distinguish your Carhartt jacket from other people's Carhartt jacket.
What I always try to bring down is a purple hoodie, you know, and a pink iPod.
A good pair of glove liners.
An alarm clock.
Knitting. Well, you've got to have scotch, of course. You can go anywhere. That would be one of life's essentials, and real coffee, which is the other one of life's essentials.
I brought someone that I would really like to be here with.
Toenail clippers.
A neck gaiter.
The rubber water bottles.
Polar buffs.
Gum, bring gum.
If you've seen the Harry Potter movie, the 7th one, Ron gets a deluminator from Dumbledore. That'd be nice to have out here because the sun never sets.
A pocket knife is great.
Suntan lotion.
Lots of Q-tips.
So I've already broken 2 watches. So I would say a watch that costs more than $20 would be fabulous.
Good sunglasses.
iPod.
It's good to have 2 of everything that you really like.
Your own neck gaiter.
A good pair of gloves that are windproof and waterproof.
I'm very fond of my Glittens.
Several pairs of gloves.
Gloves are huge.
Baby wipes.
Wet wipes.
Baby wipes.
Bikinis are always a plus. It's always a good thing. It's great to see the guys running around in them.
A computer, actually.
I was telling everyone for weeks before this trip that this year I was going to bring an electric razor so I could keep my beard under control. And again, I ran out of time, didn't bring it, and my beard absolutely went out of control. 3 razors met their demise, conquering my beard.
I would say the biggest thing that people have brought with them that have helped them live at camp is two things: a positive attitude and the ability to be flexible and change, because things do not stay as planned. Everything is thrown into chaos when the weather changes or when engines fail or when things break. And so the plan that you thought was going to be for that day is often changed 6 times. And so people who can go with that and say, oh, well, okay, here's our new plan, no problem, and be flexible, I think do really well here. So the ability to be flexible and also to have a positive attitude. So to make the best of where they are and to really function in a remote place.
So thanks for joining us on our little tour of Byrd Camp. This is actually our last video podcast of the season, but you'll be able to track our progress on our website at polenet.org, and you can also find us on Facebook. Thanks for watching, and happy 2011 from all of us here at Byrd Camp.
Careful.